So I'm out here in the shop actually working on two systems at the same time here. Sometimes I actually like to do multiple systems at once because I sort of get in the flow of everything as far as getting all the fittings together, threading on all the adapters and whatnot. It's nice to get all that stuff away up front. I actually talk about that a little bit in a couple other videos I have, so go ahead and check those out. A couple of videos I have actually show me doing all, sort of figuring out how I go about picking which adapters I would use versus buying already fitted components. So one time I actually purchased a Taco air separator with the factory installed ProPress fittings, which you think would save some time. However, I got the entire system together and pressure tested it, and sure enough, there was a leak. So I do all my own fittings. You know, I would have expected a little more out of you know, this manufacturer to provide a better product like that, but I will say I very rarely run into issues, and really Taco has been kind of my go-to components. I've tried others. It's not to say that these are necessarily better, it's just what I'm used to and what I know. And for my customers, I want to give them basically everything I tell them. I want them to know that I know the part in and out, you know, so when it comes to installing it or maintaining it, whatever it may be, you know, I stick with a product, and if I like it, I really secure it down and make sure I really fully understand how they all work. So anyway, here's the two systems that I've been working on. This one is going to be for two-zone. It's a 250-150 combi. This will actually be able to handle two air handlers that the customer will be installing. So what I have here is actually two 007 circulators that will be piped in. And I have some service valves over here on the return. This is a pretty straightforward system, as well as the one over here that I'm also working on, which is going to be a single zone baseboard system. So this one's as simple as it gets, I guess you would say. But I did, you know, explain to the customer the different types of circulators that I offer, and the advantages and disadvantages to some of them. And for whatever type of system you have, I would recommend different size circulators. Not necessarily, there's something that you have to calculate actually what size pump you would use. However, there are different versions of those pumps. There's a standard, what I call a standard model, and then there's basically a high efficiency one, which is a ECM motor. Basically just uses less electricity to run. And then there's what I call sometimes the Cadillac of pumps, or and depending on which system you have, I may or may not recommend it. But this one is basically a VT2218. I've gone over this a few times in some other videos, and that's actually what you call a Delta T pump. So that has the ability to ramp up and down automatically for whatever delta you set that to. So if you set the delta to 20 degrees on there, it will maintain motor speed in there and the flow rate to maintain a difference of 20 degrees between the supply and the return. That's really beneficial for getting the ultimate efficiency out of these boilers. You know, any condensing boiler will advertise a specific efficiency rating. However, they sort of lack in telling you what delta that is really at. So, I mean, with condensing boilers, the bigger the temperature differential, the more it will condense and the more efficiency you will get out of it. So with something like a Delta T pump, you could really tune the system in and get it the absolute most efficiency out of it. So that's basically two of the projects I got going on now. Like I said, I'm just sort of getting the fittings together. This one's, all the fittings are completed, so basically I'm just doing the piping layout. We have another system after these two that I'll be working on that's actually a baseboard zone as well as an in-floor zone. So that's dealing with two different temperatures, and I kind of want to make a quick video about that, talking about how you go about getting two different temperatures out of a single boiler that you can only set to one temperature. So as a hint, it does involve using a mixing valve, and there's a specific way you want to pipe it in order to not interfere with the other, you know, the baseboard zone interfering with the radiant zone and vice versa. So we'll get into that in the next video. So yeah, that's about it. I'm just going to continue working on these and get these out for the customers, and just keep rolling with the next ones. Like I said, check out our other videos. I have a lot of videos on boilers and and how they work and different things like that. If you haven't yet, please click subscribe. We got tons of videos coming out. We have house builds going on that we're doing, site work over there at the property we own. You know, so if you're interested in any of that sort of stuff, tons of videos on that. And we'll see you guys in the next one.